What's up, y'all? How y'all doing out there? This is the Burgundy Breakdown with Reedie, Zee, Jon, and Juan, and we are back this week to talk about a mini camp. We had 2 days to talk about a lot that's going on. Of course, Terry McLaurin still not in the building. Marshon Lattimore Laremy Tunsil showed up, and there's some surprising takes on them. But also today we had some injuries that may hurt one of us, if not two of us. I'm calling two. But yeah, let's just check in and let's get it. What's up, y'all? Everybody out there, we are back. This is the Burgundy Breakdown. As I just said, we got Reedie, Zee, Jon, and Juan, and we are back this Wednesday night to talk about day 1 and day 2 of minicamp. Of course, everyone knows Terry McLaurin has not been in the building. As expected, he's still holding out for the contract, and rightfully so. But you know, after voluntary workouts, you know, we talked about how Tunsil and Lattimore didn't show up. They were definitely here this week. And, you know, we had a few interviews and things to talk about with reference to them too. But the breaking news today is that Noah Brown was carted off the field. And it's still, you know, still out there. We're not sure exactly how severe the injury is. And also Michael Gallup, he suffered an injury. He's dealing with a knee injury as well. So two key almost starters, you know, according to Juan and Reedie, two key wide receivers, you know, on deck right now and facing injuries. And it's not a, you know, I mean, no matter what, we don't want to see, you know, these guys go down and suffer anything. So definitely prayers out to Noah and Gallup. But yeah, guys, how y'all feeling?
And so I'm going to start this off first. There you go. And I'm going to say, who is Laremy Tunsil, first of all? I've never heard
Laramie.
I said Larry, like little
Laramie. Excuse me, guys.
That Z. We're getting it started early because he came for me on this Noah Brown thing because he know me and Juan said that we are Noah Brown guys, and he you know, it wasn't looking too good. He got carted off today. But I'm gonna just say this: pump your brakes. We don't know what it is until we get definitive word, which is probably not going to come out until training camp, unless it's a very significant injury. Then they might drop something, but we're not going to find out because this is mini camp and they're getting ready to go on their break until training camp starts. So we're not going to see the players for a while. So it's going to be like that desert of nothing newsworthy that's going to come out on this specific topic. I would just say hold our breath because we don't know. We don't want to assume because a cart came out that he is done for the season, because the reports that I saw in 2 places said that he got up, he walked to the sideline. Then once he got to the sideline, they were looking at him. Then they put him on a cart. But if we keep in mind, if you've ever been out to Ashburn, there is that hill coming from the practice fields up until the facility where they're going at. So maybe it was just too far of a walk. That's why he got on the cart. And then the other thing, they came out and said that he let out some audible noise or whatever, you know what I'm saying, like going, or, you know, I guess it went over a bump or whatever. But that could have just been frustration of he's just coming off an injury from last year. And then to know that I might possibly be dealing with another injury right now is frustrating when he was poised to come and have, you know, a better season than what he had and contribute in better ways, you know, for this team. And then to hit on Michael Gallup has a hamstring injury that I'm hearing that he's dealing with, and he is day-to-day with that. So, you know, it's a little time until training camp, so I'm not too worried about it. He could calm that injury down and, you know what I'm saying, you know, come out when training camp starts. That's all that matters, is having everybody ready to go when training camp starts. And what is it, 60 days or what have you? Training camp starts in. just be ready for that. And that's just how I feel about it. I'm just gonna say, hold your horses on this thing because we don't know what it is. Go ahead, Juan.
First of all, in my words of Reedie, stop what you doing, Zee. Talking about something. It's just 102. Y'all gonna stop playing with my man Noah Brown. Like
no, we ain't.
You know, like what's up with like you would genuinely think this man is like just garbage or something. Like he wasn't the go-to man outside of Terry McLaurin last year, like in the early parts of the season. Yeah. But no, well said. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I always keep it 100 transparent. I definitely overreacted. I definitely jumped to the end, you know what I'm saying, of the, you know what I'm saying, like speculation. Because I'm like, oh, a cut came out, he was down for an extra 2 to 3 minutes. Yo, what's up? Like, we already getting hit with the injury bug. Michael Gallup already got a hamstring injury. I'm like, am I the problem? Like, am I the jinx? Like, because, like, why all the people I want to be successful and make the roster? Exactly. Make the roster already hurt. Like, so I guess if I'm not, again, I'm going to be, I know I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to be on the speculation of assuming the worst until they calm me down. So I'm guessing it's Michael Straxon season. You feel me? Or maybe Ja'Cory Brooks. This is maybe an opportunity for him to truly make the roster. Who a lot of us are excited about.
They said there was sorry, Juan, not to cut you off. I just wanted to chime in real quick. They said, I can't remember his name. I don't know if any of you guys remember, but they said there was another guy that was showing up and showing out. He's a veteran receiver. I can't remember his name.
Chris
Moore. Okay. Yeah, or it's the the Strahan. Whatever it was
Moore. Straxon. They said Chris Moore was doing really good. And I mean, if you look back at Chris Moore last season, he was getting burned before KJ Osborne did. So, I mean, again, we don't know the severity of the injury. You got Reedie telling you pump your brakes and you can follow suit, or you can be like me and be extra and just assume the worst until, you know what I'm saying, we get confirmation that it ain't so bad. But my mindset is already on, all right, Luke McCaffrey, what's up? This your time. Probably got to be positive about this and look at it like, all right, one of these young fellas, this was an opportunity for one of them guys to really show themselves. I just reacted in an emotional state because I'm looking at it not even just from a Noah Brown situation. If anybody got hurt, like Eddie Goldman got hurt as well, and he already retired twice. So I'm looking at it like, what's up? Like, come on, like, why us? That's what I'm looking at it from a team standpoint, because I think this is going to be a good year. But from the start of it, it's looking like we might be facing a lot of adversity. But again, it's still early. Okay, so we're gonna let this play out into training camp if they do decide not to disclose the information. But it definitely sucks. Already been without Terry McLaurin, and this is more confirmation why you shouldn't participate in anything if you're not getting guaranteed money or have a contract extension. So Terry McLaurin's doing the right thing. Shamar Stewart out of Cincinnati, he's doing the right thing, because what the heck do you mean you ain't trying? Cincinnati's a whole nother joke. I ain't even gonna bring them up. He's doing the right thing as well. So yeah, I'm definitely hurt behind this news because that was my guy. I definitely thought he was going to have a big role into this offense, and I definitely
going to have a big role. Juan, we're not doing that, Juan.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Juan, we taking a page out of the old man Pete Carroll's playbook. We'll just be positive about this, Juan. He'll be back.
He'll be back. He'll be back. He definitely will be back. He'll have a very good positive role in this offense. So will Michael Gallup. And yeah, shout, like Asia just said, shout out to Asia. I feel bad for him truly though. Like no joking time. I do feel bad for him. He had a kidney injury or like a lung injury last year. And I'm not gonna say we desperately missed him, but you could tell his presence was missed a little bit, especially by Jay and Daniels. He was very comfortable having a really good connection with him. So we'll see. But I guess now after his injury that we could sustain, we can, I guess, root on Michael Straxon or one of these undrafted guys. Like, go find Mitchell Tinsley. That was my man. Go find him. Where he at? Bring him back around, man.
Before we get down the list with Mitchell Tinsley's and the Casimir Allens and the things like that, Juan, you did a video that I woke up to. I think it was yesterday morning or maybe this morning. And it was basically like this second year receiver has been standing out. So let's talk. I didn't get to watch it in fully, but let's talk about a little bit about that. You know, what you got to say about Luke?
Man, first of all, Luke McCaffrey is a guy that a lot of people.
John got the Luke jersey.
Is that a Alex
Smith? Something like that.
Oh wow!
Is that a Alex Smith? The Commanders?
Alex Smith? You got to tear the back off.
I got to do something with the back, but yeah, I'm rocking a little.
Clean this. I'm gonna take my Jahan jersey and put that Samuel Jr. on the back.
Go ahead.
Pull a duct tape and you good.
I forgot I got a. No, actually, I gave my Han away. Yeah,
and so did we. So you good?
Yeah, respect.
We reconstruction jerseys, huh? I guess I got to change that Chase Young to a Cleveland Furrow John or something.
I got to do the same damn thing. Why you remind me?
Oh man, but nah. It was about Luke McCaffrey because word on the street is he definitely is having a really good mandatory mini, and I really made the video because I was like, let's go, because a lot of people, and I think it has to do to the excitement around Jalen Lane, but a lot of people are like, they had Luke McCaffrey potentially being cut, or they had him I think we covered it, like they had him involved in trade packages this offseason. And I'm just like, a second round, third round pick. Like, we're not talking about a fourth, fifth, sixth round, seventh round pick. We're talking about a third round pick who, in my opinion, should be the kick returner. Like, I'm all for excitement at that position, but more so what I love is, you know what I'm saying, just having the ability to corral and the catch. And he averaged 29 yards per return last year. I mean, who remembers that Eagles return? Like, he had some big plays back there. So I think worst case scenario, he'll find his way on his roster due to that. But I mean, I think about that early on that Bengals game, he should have scored. He had a really good catch during that game. I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. If Jaden Daniels, one of his rare mistakes out throughout the whole season, he connects on Luke McCaffrey right down the seams, we don't lose that game. So I definitely that video was solely about Luke McCaffrey for the most part. And it's just, I had to tell people, like, don't give up on Luke. Like, I understand we got Debo and we got excitement about Jalen Lane, but Luke McCaffrey's still here, and he seems to be really, really tearing it up thus far. And he has a really good connection with Debo Samuel. I think that's the positive thing about Terry being out, is other receivers getting opportunities that normally probably wouldn't, and then Jalen with other guys too, which isn't a surprise because Debo Samuel obviously played with Christian McCaffrey, so his brother makes sense. But I'm definitely a big Luke guy now, and I'm rooting for him, and hopefully he can find his way into this offense.
I'm glad that you said that, Juan, because I'm just going to slide this in there real quick. You said a pick from last year, but just last week we talked about this, trying to get rid of Johnny Newton and send him to Cincinnati for a guy named Hendrickson. You know what I'm saying? I just throw that in there.
Yeah. And guess what?
What the hell does Luke McCaffrey doing great on day one of minicamp got to do with Johnny Newton being traded for Trey Hendrickson? Tell me, Reedie.
Hold on.
But guess what, though? I got you, Reedie. Hold on. Throw this in there, too. But when you go, Reed, I'm going to give you this little thing. Apparently, Johnny Newton is cooking, too. They said that he looks explosive. He looks explosive. He's healthy. So
now we can trade Johnny in a seventh and keep the third.
Johnny Newton is way better than Luke McCaffrey at this juncture. He did way more for this team than Luke McCaffrey at this juncture, at this crossroads right now.
That's why he's in the package and not Luke.
I'm not even gonna go there with you. You got it, bro. You got it. I
don't know about that though, Reedie. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I gotta rewatch the season. But the biggest play I got from Johnny Newton is when he jumped off sides. I'm sorry. Luke McCaffrey, I could vividly remember 3-4 good plays by him. The biggest moment from Johnny Newton.
I remember Johnny's sack versus Chicago on Caleb Williams. That led to the fourth down conversion.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch. But no, I get both points, right? I'm on the Reedie side of keeping him. But I do understand Zee's point. If we were to make a trade, that's why you would throw Johnny Newton in there, because he technically has the better upside. But I'm good, bro. You see Frankie Louvu in practice; he's taking extensive reps
with HBK.
Yes, he's taking extensive. So and I'm glad we're bringing that up now, because I was gonna bring that up as well. Like, with Jordan McGee being healthy and he's flying around, what if he is the new Frankie Louvu for this year? And now Frankie Louvu, we're not saying he's not going to play his normal position, but he he's working he's working really extensive with Ryan Kerrigan this year. So what if his primary new role is pass rusher? And he had 8 sacks last year when he was a part-time pass rusher. So maybe that's why they didn't really make any big new moves at the pass rusher position, because this was their plan all along. And Jacob Martin would have been nice sack as well today. So I'm all about it. Me and Reedie, we said it last week. Committee. That's what I'm for, because it don't matter if one person give you 18, 17 sacks. If a team collectively give you 17 sacks, what's the difference besides a player being a Pro Bowl, All-Pro, and your defense really? I think, honestly, 17 sacks spread it around may be more like better in terms of like production-wise and I guess stats rankings across the league, opposed to just one player doing it all by himself. But hey,
Patrick and AJ. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'll say Patrick and AJ took the words out of my mouth. I'm about to ask y'all if you think Luvu and that Micah Parsons role of drafted linebacker, started his career linebacker, slowly works his way into the edge rotation. They took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I no, don't get me wrong. I'm not just saying toss and dangle Johnny Newton around the trade talks. I was just saying, in a sense of that, like I said last week, that, in order to get big trades and get, some key caliber guys, sometimes you got to give up that project. And, just in this case, Johnny Newton was the subject. Trading him is not something that I'm just high on my list, but if it's to get a super upgrade, especially in a position of need, then I'm open to the conversation. That's all I'm saying. But I'm definitely high on Johnny Newton. I was high on him when he got drafted, and I hope he do pan out, and and the other guys as well. And definitely what you're saying. I've been hearing, Juan. I've been hearing that McGee has been stepping up, in camp, and that's great to hear, because we definitely been trying to, figure out what's next for him. Last year, they said he flashed a little bit, but then he got hurt. So it's been one of those big questions of the offseason, if he can step up, and that kind of justify a lot of the moves that we didn't make. So, if you can get him more involved, and you can free Luvu up on a lot of the rushes, then it will supplement, and it'll make sense of, not going out and getting a key guy or a big name. But we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, I guess more into some more positive news about a player that everybody's freaking out about, which in some cases is understandable. Marshon Lattimore. They say he's looking very, very good.
Looking healthy.
And again, similar to the Luke McCaffrey thing, that brought a smile to my face, because a lot of people, again, rightfully so, because when you trade for a guy of that caliber, you expect to get immediate production. But there are also some fans that want to give up on him, right? So to see him healthy, to see him out there, looking really good, it definitely gives me confidence that we'll get the Marshon Lattimore that we traded for. And then even deeper than that, like they had different packages with Jonathan Jones was that second, corner opposing to him. So it just, the depth at the cornerback position, I think, is the best that it's been in years. Definitely.
Yeah. And Amos is showing out too. So you, like, all 4 of our going to be starting corners, they're already all getting like, their stocks climbing, their stocks going up. Like, it's the second day of training camp and whatnot, or a mini camp. But I mean, when you have Marshon going up for interceptions, leaving his feet, most dudes have been like, I got to jump for this. I ain't doing that. The fact that he's doing all the drills, he's jumping, he's moving, he looks faster, and he was self-aware in that interview. He was like, yeah, I felt timid on my style of play. I didn't quite feel timid physically or mentally, but my style of play, went back on film and looked at it, and he feels healthy right now. Cool. Let's actually give him the full offseason that he needed to get acclimated in the defense.
Yeah, definitely. Lattimore definitely. I noticed it yesterday, and he kind of talked today, but I noticed it yesterday. I'm like, damn, he looks springy. He looks, he's running a lot faster. He looks more swift, smooth.
Spring chicken.
Look like he got his feet back up on him. So definitely, happy to see. Him moving around and, doing things a lot better. It looks a little more comfortable, out there. So that's definitely a positive. Because I was, all last year I definitely was thinking like hanging there with Lattimore, hanging there, and I felt like definitely by the NFC Championship he would step it up, but he was getting toasted even then. And then even this offseason, especially with guys like Ramsey and now Jair being available, it's starting to question like, damn, did we move too fast or anything like that? So to kind of see him come back out here and look like his old self so far. Again, it's only minicamp, it's no pads and things of that nature. But just to see how swiftly he's moving around, he looks comfortable. It looked like he's getting that confidence back. So definitely, it makes me positive, especially right now, until we see how things look when he get these pads on.
I mean, and the age is good. I thought Reedie's gonna say something. No, but the age's point is Lattimore is kind of in the same boat as Debo of, all right, they came from a place where mentally they weren't locked in, physically they weren't locked in, play style they weren't locked in. So they needed this off season, this training camp, this time to get themselves right. Like we saw Debo come in looking like Kyle Lowry. Now he looks in shape. Lattimore comes in, looks out of weight. Right now he looks. He slimmed down. He looks better. Like I said, he looks springy. He looking better. More like a cornerback that should play on the field, not someone carrying the clipboards and teaching how to play corner. So I think this offseason has been good for both. I think it's been good for the whole team. Like everyone for the most part is in the building. There was no big ego saying, "Oh, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. I need to do this." Like outside of like Terry's contract, which we all knew was coming from January, February, we were like, all right, Terry probably won't show up. Here's why. Here's how much we're doing. All right, cool. Let's move on. The rest of the team's locked in, loaded, ready to go. And so far, outside of the Gallup and Noah Brown injuries, the whole team's rocking and rolling, even for just mini camps.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like defensively we're going to be better. Someone just brought it up in the comment section. Could this be a no-fly zone in DC? I've already confirmed that. Like I'm booking that because I think we have the potential to have the best cornerback trio in the NFL. Yes, they're great duos. Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley, obviously the new Denver Broncos duo. Like they're great duos, but who has a trio that's really, really popping? I already expect Marshon Lattimore to go back to his old self. Trey Amos. I think this is the highest I've ever been on a rookie. Like, and he's a second round rookie, to say the least. I wasn't even this high on Jaden Daniels because I was just like, hey, give me 7-8 wins this year. I was expecting to be a normal rookie season, take his lumps. I no one expected what he did last year, so I wasn't even that high on 5. But I am super high on Trey Amos. Like I immediately expect him to come in and start day one and make a super impact immediately. And then Mikey Sainristil, I can't say enough about Mikey. That's my guy. Like that is like probably top 3 favorite players. Like I expect him to potentially have a Mike Hilton-esque season, and by year 3 potentially have an all-pro season. And then we get to the depth. Again, I mentioned the depth is the best we've ever seen. Well, not ever seen, but in a minute, right? You got Noah Igbenogany first off the bench, Jonathan Jones, like so many guys that can come in and not be a super drop-off. Definitely believe it's going to be a no-fly zone in Washington. The safeties, freaking Joe Witt Jr., and I know you could take it with a grain of salt because it's your player, you want to talk about, but I take it, I definitely take his word, Joe Witt Jr.'s word, and like I believe it because he's a person that's going to call it how it is. So he said he's holding Quan Mine to you can be the best safety in the league standard. Like he said he can be the best safety in the league, not one of the best, but the best safety in the league. So that says a lot for him. And then obviously, I'm definitely high on Will Harris. I think he's gonna be better than Jeremy Chin. No disrespect, but I think he could do it all. Something that Jeremy Chin couldn't really do. Was be the best in coverage. Yes, I think so. Another
hot one take.
Hot take.
That hit. Hey, look, that hit on Tyler Algier was enough.
That's the title of your segment. Juan's hot takes. Juan's hot takes. That's the
that
segment.
Good.
Nah, I was just gonna finish up with the I watched Will Harris's like tape and highlights, and that hit on Tyler Algier, it sold me. I'm like, I don't remember the last time we had a safety like that. I mean, DJ Swerns like that just comes down and ain't afraid to like literally just decapitate a running back. And now I know the rules are not how they were back in the day, so you can't really do that. But Will Harris definitely will. So, and he statistically had a similar, if no, actually better season than Jeremy Chin, and we're getting him for less. So, hey, man.
All right. Reedie, all we gotta do is clip it up. There's another one.
I'm not necessarily sold on Will Harris to this point, because in Reedie's film study, he was getting his ass cooked. And I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. I don't know. I'm optimistic that he will be better. Like, I feel like he will hit you. He showed some level of physicality, but I mean, yeah, you know, they say that Jeremy Chin was getting burnt. Okay, cool. He really couldn't cover. Okay, cool. But he would come up and he would hit you in the run game. So the book is out on that. I got to see that from Will Harris and see what he does exactly. But I'm still keeping hope for Percy Butler, that he comes in here and he has a good camp.
And then to watch out for
on the back end. But I'm not going to say that. But I'm not going to say that, you know, Will Harris isn't going to do it. But that's a very extremely hot topic, Juan.
Let me ask this: what was the film? And I'm sure you probably watched it all. But he said, "I still remember how I planned it." Man, I remember he made that trade. Bro, I was so geeked for him.
Nice. I want him coming out.
Yeah,
He wasn't what he was.
Because that was still Norman, DJ Swerns, like that definitely was. Monte Nicholson around on that? I don't remember, but
I don't think
I definitely feel like I thought Ha Clandis. We made that in season trade. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely a piece that we need to this secondary. But no, let me ask this, and I'm sure you probably watched all his film, but was a lot of his film in which he was getting burnt, was that when he was with Detroit or New Orleans? Because when I was when I was doing my research on him for New Orleans and talking to like New Orleans Saints fans, they were pissed that they didn't re-sign him. Like they were, remember that they started off that season 2-0, and that defense was amazing. And they say a lot of that was due to him. Like he was definitely like a huge part to this secondary and their defense. And a lot of people that are fans of the Saints were highly upset that they didn't re-sign him. So I just thought I asked.
Yeah, a lot of it was with the Saints that I seen, and even in our game, like he didn't really affect the game. I think who did he get burnt by in our game? I can't remember off the top of my head, but he just didn't look the part to me. I'm not too confident in his cover ability. Now he will tackle you though. He will come up and hit you. But I got to see more. I just got to see more. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not saying I'm out on him or not, because I'm not, but I just gotta see more.
No,
so I'm back out of training camp and I see him live on the grass, and then I may change that take on him.
But it's definitely understandable. It is June. You know, it's a lot that you gotta wait and see. But I mean, I guess since we're on the safety topic, we can cover and talk about Jeremy Reeves, who sneakily got a contract extension today.
Yeah, I got a clip to bring up for Revo real quick.
From Quinn.
And I ain't gonna hold y'all when that came across I'm working, and I just see the Revo
we've been waiting for,
and I'm like, what? Like, I love Revo. Don't get me wrong on what I'm about to say, people. I love Revo, like good dude, you know, solid at what he does, what he's asked to do. But that wasn't the extension I was looking to see. Not at all.
Yeah, that was definitely a clickbait title, the extension we waited for. Because I heard it and clicked too, and I'm like, oh, Revo. I was happy
he was let down
that it happened, but I'm like, okay, they were definitely worded that thinking that we was thinking it was Terry.
It was an article. Like who was?
Nah, it was one of them reporters tweeted it.
I think was it no, it wasn't Shefty, it wasn't Raps, it wasn't
It was one of the one of the Commanders reporters.
Yeah.
Hey, see, even the B reporters be clickbaiting y'all. So don't be on the content creators when we try to jazz it up a little bit.
Nah, for real.
They be like, "Wow, you clickbait." Nah.
The extension you've all been looking for, Jeremy Reeves.
But cool, here we go, y'all. Here go the clip. Hold on, make sure the volume's up.
It's a blessing, man. Like I think of, when I first got here and everything that I went through, all the tough days I went through. I got a chance to talk to AP and DQ before practice. Just tell them like, man, it's nice to just be wanted, and feel like what I do matters. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just filled with gratitude, man. I was just talking to some of the young guys and telling them like, if you take anything from me, just understand that the turtle does win the race.
Man.
That right there is good, dude.
That's solid. That's solid. I mean, like we talked about last week, Revo definitely started out as a guy that came in to be a safety and play safety for this team. He's been around for a while. I'm not sure the exact numbers, the years, but it could have been around like 8 years, maybe.
He's been around
2018.
Yeah, 2018. So you're talking 7 years that he's been with the squad. And like we said last year, when DeShazier Everett, last week, when DeShazier Everett, went down, Revo would come in and fill in. When the other guys would go down, Revo would come in and be solid, like, make plays. I feel like one year he got like cut. Then they bought him back, and then remember he made all pro Pro Bowl or something like that when Ron Rivera called him in the office and he was crying right out his mom passed. And the grind has just been real for Revo. So I was definitely happy to see him, the team do him a solid, because he's definitely one of those key guys, one of those, what's the word I want to use? Catalyzers, on our team, and he's a key leader.
The coaches are higher on him.
Yeah, and just like Whit said, you got to find ways to get him on the regular defense and get him in there, get him on the field, because he just makes plays. Even though he's a standout special teams guy, he makes plays. So happy to see Revo. I'm happy for him, man. Shout out to Revo.
They better find a way to get my man on the field. We ain't got that good of a safety room for him to not at least get an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? They let him play in training camp. They give him they treat him like a guy, like in the third, like they always say, if you're in the final preseason game and you're in like the third or fourth quarter, then like you ain't making the team. Like they treat Revo like that. Like they be putting him in the last preseason game in the third quarter. And it's like, bro, he can play safety. Like, I'm not saying he elite or he's a starter, but like he deserves an opportunity to at least get some type of snaps, except outside of just being a special teams guy. But even to say that, he's going to be here for a long time. He's going to continue to collect on 1 year deals. He's only 28, and worst case scenario, or should I say maybe even best case, because this guy was amazing. He's on a Matthew Slater kind of trajectory where he played the Patriots. He was literally a receiver, but he was only there for like 15 years for special teams, and he won countless Super Bowls. So that could be where the path Jeremy Reeves is on. But of course, it's always great to have Revo back for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, think about this. I think it's Revo, Tress, Terry, and Duran. The only 4 players on this squad to wear a Redskins jersey. They've been here that long.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tress Way been here out. I think Tress Way, this might be the last time he posted on social media, but when he first came, I think I was in 5th grade, bro. 6th grade. Hey, yo, he been here with Brett.
What year did he get drafted?
I don't think he was drafted. I think we picked him up in 2014. 2015, because I know the punter before him was Sam Rocker, number 6.
I mean, this is Tress's 10th or 12th year.
Yeah. Sam Rocker. I remember Sam Rocker. Man.
So yeah, so also just to kind of talk about what we discussed early in the off season, especially after the Connerly acquisition, we discussed this offensive line and our predictions. And I was pretty early on saying that I felt like Allegretti was not a starter in this league.
Alabenchi?
Yeah. Oh, that's what you call him now?
Hey, John, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If these players
that's what you call him.
If these players saw our show, they'd probably have
real smoke
over with you.
It'd be over for me. Y'all ain't never seen me again.
Alabenchi.
Hey,
go ahead.
John switched up fast.
Quick, yeah. And I'm like, that's wow. That's
Allegretti, because I could have sworn he was saying, I gotta go back.
I see that. Juan said he's a starter in this league, and John said I can see that.
Yeah,
like I can see that.
If my memory is correct, I gotta watch John.
I definitely said that.
John tried to switch up on
I probably did. I just know we got depth in that way. The Cosby's gonna be out, so we got Gretty and we got Herbig to fill the spot.
So John on his Reedie shit is like, what have you done for me lately? What have you done
Taking
for
notes.
me lately? Go.
Taking notes.
Was Andrew Wiley, was he getting snaps at left tackle yesterday? Or
so day one and day two, because Tunsil was not a full participant. He he did little drills and stuff like that, but he was not a full participant yesterday. I'm not sure what they said today. Actually Wiley did get snaps today at left tackle as well. I saw a tweet come out earlier said that he was back at left tackle. So that's something that's kind of interesting to see, because in our mind we expected, my prediction was, you're gonna have Tunsil, then you're gonna have Coleman at left guard, and then at the center, of course, Badass, and then right guard was gonna be either Wiley, but I also predicted maybe Nate Herbig. I predicted him at potentially, stepping in at left guard as well. Not sure, how that'll play. And then, of course, Connolly at the right tackle. So, kind of kicking it off, they definitely had that. What Dan Quinn spoke on, I forget whose show he was on, but they asked him about, the Brandon Coleman.
Oh, it was Chris Long's podcast.
Yeah, Chris Long. They asked him about Brandon Coleman, and he specifically said that he praised Coleman and his versatility, being valuable to the team, and especially with the arrival of Tunsil and Connolly, that he would start out as left guard. So that was definitely one of our predictions. And then, again, nothing against Allegretti. I think he'll be a hell of a swing guy. He'll be a hell of a fill-in. I just didn't feel that he was a starter, especially seeing how he kind of whooped up on last year. But, how you guys feeling about Quinn's, just letting it be known, like, Brandon's our left guard?
It's official.
I believe the Washington Commanders will have a top 5 offensive line unit when Sam Cosmi gets healthy. Think about it.
Say that, Reedie.
What's his trajectory as far as his return?
Well, they said he was ahead of schedule. I saw something like a week or two ago that said he was pretty much ahead of schedule.
I'm gonna just say off the top of my head, I'm gonna say week 8 is when he makes his return.
Yeah,
I could see
trade deadline or something like that.
When he comes back, I'm gonna say 26 because I'm gonna speak into existence. Laremy Tunsil gets extended. Shoot, we could have like next year. We could not gonna say we could be in cap hell, but we might not have no money next year. If all these players,
the amount of signings we need.
Because Terry about to get extended. Hopefully, Laremy Tunsil get extended. Hopefully, Debo Samuel get extended. All these 1-year guys we got.
Lugu's gonna need more money. Wagner's gonna need money if he don't retire.
I think if we win a bowl, Wagner gonna retire.
Oh, yeah, if we get a bowl, he'll retire. But I'm just being right now. I'm like, all right, we got like 40 dudes on 1-year deals this season. Everyone up for contracts.
I think I could see Zach Ertz walking away if we win. But anyways, I think this offensive line has potential to be top 5 when Sam Cosmi comes back. Even with Sam Cosmi out, this unit is going to sustain, I think, one of the best in the league. Like, just think about it. If we're speaking into you know what I'm saying, existence and whatever, how you say that word like that, speaking into existence, that these players are playing their best game. So we're assuming we're getting the Laremy Tunsil that ain't gonna be racking up penalties. We're getting the Brandon Coleman that was a lot of people coming out of when he came out of college, or a lot of the analysts. And I find it funny how a lot of draft analysts are always right. And it's like, I know it's like, duh, they get paid to do it. But like, I remember they were getting the ESPN broadcast was getting so much pushback from Commanders fans for saying that Brandon Coleman was initially a god. So that being said, if he's the god that we think, and I was just gonna say, hopefully Josh Collins Jr. pans out, because I'm tired of drafting these tackles and then they're gods. Like, it's good that they turn out to be elite gods, but like, come on, we did it with Brandon Scherf, we did it with Sam Cosmi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about time we draft a tackle, which hopefully Josh Connolly is.
Yeah.
You think about the left guard position, Brandon Coleman can hold it down, and he's on a rookie deal. Tyler Biadasz, freaking dog. When he got hurt, the freaking offensive line act like they lost their mind. So we know how. Yeah. Pause. We know how important he is to that offensive line. And then you get Sam Cosmi back. Come on, that's an all pro you getting back in that offensive line. And then obviously Josh Conley Jr. I think he's gonna be really well at right tackle. And then the depth behind it. Come on, man. Like this is the best unit we've had since what? Morgan Moses, Trent Williams, Corey Lindensteiger, Sean Laval, maybe. I remember I was a big time. Yeah, I was a big time Secchi fan. Like he was that back in the day for me. He was that like that kind of new age. Was not Charles Leno. What was that? Cornelius Lucas for me. Like he always came in and was really solid. But yeah, we got some ore back at that left tackle position, fellas. This is probably the most swag we didn't have since Trent. So shout out Gas, man. He definitely be fried, but he gonna be like that if he ain't holding this shit. Look at him, he look fly, bro. I ain't gonna lie, rock with it.
Is it me or you lose weight?
You think he lost weight?
Maybe he lost weight.
I don't know why. I get a feeling he lost weight, which ain't a bad thing. I'm just like, I remember seeing Tunsil. I'm like, yo, that's a big dude, and I'm like, he lost weight.
He's still height wise, he's still a huge dude. That man he makes Chris Paul look small, bro.
Yeah, that man's a monstrous.
Yeah. He says apparently the Giants defensive line is looking scary. Well,
I saw
we already knew that was gonna happen. If that's true. I saw the clip, but then again, it's the Giants offensive
second
line.
string on. I was about to say it might be even second string. So you playing JV.
And it's Russell Wilson.
Mr. Unlimited?
Man.
Mr. Ciara?
You learn me, bro. Learn me looking sweet. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if I like 78 though. Like 77 would have been solid. I don't know who got 77, but that'd have been sweet. I still can't get over that Eric Flowers. Like we did him boosie, bro. Like
the moment he left, I remember everyone. You got to bring him back, and he still ain't in the league.
I don't know what he do. Was he on some? Who was that? The running back a couple years ago that got into it with Jay Gruden? Was it Capri Bibbs? It sounded like they was at the party, or sound like he took his girl. I don't know. I'm talking.
Yeah, they did say Gruden took somebody girl and was beefing.
Was it Capri Bibbs or something like that? What like he had to do something that crazy, because like how did he just go from having a good season to not even being in the league? It's crazy. Nah, for real, bro.
Dante with the quote. That's all we needed.
Nah, for real. I don't know what he did, bro,
to make him that mad.
But
yeah, another clip where they had a quick
Carl
clip.
Davis.
Carl Davis. Okay, whatever.
Defensive lineman.
I was about to say Carl Davis. If I'm correct, he's our D tackle like 4 or 5.
That's nasty. 77.
Do we think
D tackle?
Do we think Terry goes all the way to training camp?
I think he gets his deal done. Like I'm gonna say July 15th.
Because tomorrow's the last day of minicamp.
Yeah.
I think July 15th.
15. I like that around that 15, 16, 17 area. I think if once we get to like August 1st, then sound the alarm. Like, all right, this is taking a hot minute to get through. But we had June 11th. All right, we got another month and a half before August 1st. We got plenty of time. We said, the 4 of us have said it. Rio said it. JT has said it. It is early June. These deals don't happen for another 2 weeks to 4 weeks. All right. By the time Noah Brown, it's a good question. I just know the answers too. So I mean, say this: by the time Gallup and Noah Brown probably fully healthy, Terry's gonna get his deal done.
I think one thing that this has taught me, because I go with what I hear from these major reporters when it comes to other people's teams, but with my team, I called it out today. Albert Breer, they're just like fans, bro, or these content creators. They're looking to be the first one out with stories and get the most clickbaity title. Because I think it was something like Albert Breer has said, apparently
like
Washington and Terry McLaurin they're not close on the extension, they're far apart.
I saw that.
And I'm like, bro, what? Dan Quinn literally just said the other day, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, that's cap, bro. Like, what are you talking about? So I say that to say, like, Terry, we all know he's gonna get the deal done. I also saw something that said like he wants $38 million. I doubt that. Like,
I doubt that.
You like no. Like, what are we talking about? Like, and if that happens to be the case, that would be crazy.
I think
I would bet more money a running back wins MVP.
I think I've seen something that said he was like the 16th or 19th highest paid wide receiver or something at this point.
Right now, currently, he's like 16 to 18.
And then they said even once his extension goes through, and we get it once it, because you got to think he still has this year. It's just going to add. So to start for 26, when we get to 26, he's still not probably going to be paid in the top 5 as far as receivers goes. It's just the way it is as far as the market. Mm-hmm. So,
but Terry's also never been that guy.
Last time to really cash in for real. Like, if we're being honest.
Yep.
If we're being honest, I 100% agree. But from everything we've seen Terry be, he's not a guy who's going to want to break the bank and reset the market. Like 38 is not resetting the market, but that gets you above and around the Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Jamar Chase, the Justin Jefferson, the DK Metcalf contracts.
I mean, K. Adams brought up a good point that Terry is an all-pro now. So he deserves to be paid in all-pro money. So he deserves to be paid in the top 5. Yeah, we can say Terry isn't this guy, Terry isn't that guy. Like Dan Quinn said, sometimes the business and the football intersect. And this is one of those things. I don't think maybe Terry wants to necessarily carry it on, but he has representation for a reason. Somebody that's going to get him the best deal that he needs to get, because like I said before, this is the last opportunity for him to cash in big. Now, I don't think that this goes all the way through training camp or anything like that. Like, I'm with you guys on that. I think they get it done, before training camp. But Terry has all of the leverage here for real. Because what can they say? Like, yeah, he's getting ready to be on the other side of 30, but he has produced in every season, 1,000-yard seasons, and then he just went out and broke the franchise record for touchdowns. He made All-Pro this year. So he doesn't have he never really no injury concerns. He plays the whole season. So from that standpoint, all of those markers that teams look for to want to minimize guys' contracts, they really don't have it. So it's just all going to come down to a preference thing. And then they were making the notion that he's not an AP guy because AP didn't draft him. So that could be a concern or things of that nature.
You know how fast this fan base would turn on Adam Peters if he let Terry McLaurin walk out the door? I don't care if you drafted
it would be
games.
instant.
I don't care if you brought in Deebo Samuel. If Adam Peters, which is not going to happen, but speaking from what you just said, Reedie, which was some great points, but like if he lets Terry McLaurin out this door without a contract extension, they're going to flame Adam Peters, which is not going to happen.
They might burn down Northwest.
What I would say,
I don't think that. Not to cut you off, Juan. To be honest, I was kind of thinking about that. I think people will be pissed, but I don't necessarily think people will be pissed as much as we saying that they would, especially if it works out.
I think they would because of not even just how productive Terry's been as a player on the field, but what he means to this franchise. Like when it was 2019, when there was no bright spot, he was the only bright spot. He's been through so much. So we have a lot of us have an emotional connection deeper than his on-field play. We see how he's not a God-given, like he doesn't have Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase God-given abilities. This man literally had to earn every single stripe that he's gotten. You know what I'm saying? So I think that plays into a factor why it would be deeper than just, hey, trust Adam Peters. Like, you know what I'm saying? That kind of, and I could be way off the mark with this, but that kind of just sounds like Nico. What's the Mavericks GM? That just kind of sounds like
Nico
that.
Harrison.
Like, hey, like that sounds like something like that. Like trade Luka and just trust Nico because now he got the first pick. That's what that kind of vibe gives me. And it's like,
replaces a white boy with a white boy. That's what's gonna happen.
I agree with you though that he deserves all of those things, and that he earned everything. I don't know. It's just a part of me just feel like just keep it a spade in Reedie's words. Like Terry has definitely been a cornerstone for this organization, but like when did fans started really like vouching for Terry? Like we all been in this for a few years now. Like, and I mean, I know Reedie jumped out there and was saying, you know, Terry's a 1B, and you had a few fans kind of jumping on Reedie about it. But like, I didn't see, me personally, maybe I'm wrong, I didn't see a lot of fans like going over the hills for Terry McLaurin, you know what I mean, until this year when he broke out, and it was just like, oh yeah, he been like that. And like a lot of people just kind of went with the story. But like early on, people wasn't screaming Terry this, Terry that, don't ever get rid of Terry and this and that. They was acting like he wasn't the part. I mean, and now that he's got his quarterback and he's starting to show out, rightfully so. Again, I'm not saying he's not a game changer. I'm not saying that he was never capable of what he was, because I always felt that he was. But I'm just saying on the flip side, like, a lot of these people that acting like Terry is like, you know, the Santana Moss of this era, like a lot of people wasn't really rocking with Terry how he was until he put up what he did last year, and then they trying to act like everybody, oh, Terry's him, he's this, he's that. Like that wasn't the narrative before.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Juan, what was it 2 years ago when it was like you, me, Josh, Tone, Ed, like all on that panel, we were all discussing, is Terry an elite wide receiver? We were like, he might not be top 8, but he's like, if you don't have an alpha 1 wide receiver, teams would take Terry in a heartbeat. I remember fans in 21, 22, 23 saying, we trade Terry, they leaving things. I'm like, that's a little extreme, but I get your point. Is like, he's been through everything. I'm gonna make this comparison.
One time. Go ahead, Juan. I mean, go ahead, John.
I'm just gonna make this comparison because of the situation, not because of the player and everything. He's been our Megatron. He's been our Calvin Johnson. Been through all the quarterbacks, been through all the coaches, been through all the GMs, been through the shit show of an ownership, but stuck it out and stuck it through. Pause. He's been through everything.
Yeah. And I'm not just real quick, Joseph. Real quick, you can go right in. I'm not gonna be too long. But just to kind of respond to Joseph again, like I'm not saying that Terry wasn't consistent. I'm not saying that he hasn't been there through and through. I'm not saying that we didn't love Terry and, you know, all that. But there were some day one Terry guys. But I'm saying as a mass, as a full collective, the masses wasn't all in on Terry. You know what I mean? A lot of people was quiet and trying to waiting around to see if Terry was going to step up and really be who we thought he was. You know what I mean? We all made the excuse like Terry was the only receiver on the team, and through all these quarterbacks, he put up 1,000 yards. But if we keeping it a spade, the top guys are putting up 1,400 yards and things like that. So again, like, you know what I mean, Terry is getting his 1,000 yards, but it ain't 1,100 yards often. It ain't 1,200 yards often. I love Terry, and I'm just keeping it a flat buck. A lot of people that's claiming to be ride or die for Terry all this time has not been that. So now it just seems like everybody is just sign him. He deserves him. Give him what we owe him and all that. It's like the narrative has switched. That's all I'm saying. So I feel like, to be honest, like if I don't want to see it happen, but if AP was to like trade him or however it went out, and as long as some success come from that, I feel like those same fans would just move on. That's all I'm saying. I myself, I'll be pissed, but go ahead, Reedie.
No, I just wanted to kind of caveat on what you said, and I agree with what you're saying. And I don't really agree with you much. So this is like one of them opportunities that y'all got to take this in. But he is absolutely right what he said. A lot of these fans wasn't as Terry. They wasn't necessarily Terry guys. Everybody was waiting to see what he could do, and I was one of them guys that I thought he was a good, solid receiver. But my thing is, like, if you want to be ranked an elite receiver, you have to do what elite receivers do. And he just wasn't doing that. He's barely getting 1,000 yards. I get it that the quarterback, we didn't have nobody to get him the ball. But a lot of times, if we're being honest, the things that I was saying was that Terry was fucking up his damn self too. Because if we go back to, what was it, 2 years ago, that Philadelphia game,
Philadelphia game,
and I like Terry. I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm not trying to, muddy his name or nothing like that. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm just saying that, like, if we're calling a spade, and we go back and we think about it, some of y'all really wasn't rocking with him like that. So, like, let's just stop what we're doing. But I do believe that they do need to pay Terry. Like, he does need to get 30, 33, 34, $35 million in that range. Now, I don't know if I'm ready to sit here and say that he's top 2 wide receivers in this league, top 5 in this league. He may be he's top 10 for sure after last season. But I don't know if I'm ready to say he's top 5 when everybody's on. Now, if he goes out and does something spectacular again this year, then I'll be ready to put him in that category. But not right now. Like, we just got to be honest. There's a lot of receivers in here in this league that do some crazy stuff, put up some crazy numbers. And all of them ain't had the best quarterbacks in the world either. So that's all. And
we're in a division of really good receivers too. AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Malik Neighbors, CeeDee Lamb, now NFL young boy and George Pickens.
What did Brian Thomas Jr. Put up last year? What was his stat line? I'm pretty sure he had more than Terry.
1,300 and
he had 1,300 yards.
He BTJ put up a rookie season. If it wasn't for the quarterback race, it would have been Brock Bowers, Brian Thomas Jr., and Malik Neighbors as 1282 and 10. BTJ was 3rd in the league in reception yards as a rookie with Sunshine and Mac Jones as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Reedie. Respond to that comment. Come on, Reedie. I'm ready.
Which one?
This top 5 Terry.
Top 5 Terry had 14.
Come on, name 5 receivers. Bring Sale back down to reality. And again, we love Terry Sale, but go ahead. Name Jamar Chase.
You got Jamar Chase. Justin Jefferson. You got the other receiver over there had better stat lines than Terry. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got CeeDee Lamb when he's healthy. You got
Puka might be better than Terry.
You got
keep it a buck.
Shit. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like you could
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. You got Godwin when healthy. So, like, that's 6 off the bat right there that we could say is legit.
See, this is what I be saying. It's not hate.
Like, we gotta stop.
You gotta hear the words. You got CJ. You hear the words coming out of our mouths.
I'm with y'all on Terry. I'm not putting mud on his name. It's not hate. Bro. It's just saying, like, you gotta be honest. Call that shit down the middle. Like, we all see talent out here. Like, to say that he better than some of these receivers, I don't think so.
Devontae Adams.
I'm just a football guy. I love this team through and through.
Reedie gonna go.
Money on this team.
Go Devontae over Terry any day.
I ain't even say him.
I said that's 5 right there.
AJ Brown. I don't know about T. Asia.
Yeah, no. T. Higgins is a very good number 2, but
I feel like I don't know, bro.
Trajectory, can he be better than Terry McLaurin? He's only 26, so trajectory-wise, yes. But looking at his stats, he doesn't have a single season that's better than Terry McLaurin statistically. Like, I know the plays that he's... last season he only had 911 receiving yards. So I will say this.
I thought he had over 1,000.
I must gotta remind myself, but from what I know... Right. From what I've known since Terry's been here, I have not seen like many people. There's always the fan here and there that say it, but for the most part, everyone has loved Terry, and it goes back to him being the only bright spot we had. So I don't know if I can necessarily remember fans questioning.
We're not talking. Sorry, Juan. We're not talking about as far as the individual Terry, the selfless Terry, the team first guy Terry, the guy in the community Terry. We're not talking about that outstanding top tier, top 5, top 1 in this league. I'm talking about strictly stats.
So that's what I'm saying. I was about to get to that. What I'm still talking about the first part of y'all basically saying that there were fans questioning him back then. I was talking about I don't necessarily see a lot of fans do that. I saw a lot of fans behind him from day one because of what I was naming on top of the production that he had. Now, when it comes to him being top 5, is Terry McLaurin top 5? No, he's not. He's definitely inside that top 10. But yeah, outside of T. Higgins and Puka Nacua, he had an outstanding rookie season, but the injuries last year kind of hindered him. Trajectory-wise, I think all these guys are going to have Terry McLaurin beat because he is going to be 30 years old, so his ceiling is but so high. But there are some guys that you may have to take over right now just solely off of production. I mean, that one season by Puka, his rookie year, can wipe Terry McLaurin's whole 6 years. You can say that. But I would at least give Puka Nacua this season and see what he does alongside Devontae Adams before we can put him over Terry McLaurin. Like, I get that rookie year was outstanding. Trust me. But to follow it up with a season in which he was a little bit banged up, you know what I'm saying, having 900 yards again for his second year. If he goes out and have 1,200 again this year and, you know what I'm saying, wipes the floor again and Terry doesn't match that, then you can put him over him. You know what I'm saying? But the other guys you named,
Z, look at the screen.
I think Terry 1B, and we don't have this conversation already.
That's what I said. I don't think he's a 1B no more. I think the way he did last year, he put his own.
So okay, say Jamar Chase, yes, clearly. Justin Jefferson, yes. I'm personally, and I know you can say biasness or whatever, but I'm personally not putting Amon-Ra St. Brown over Terry.
I gotta like we gotta reiterate though, guys. Like, okay, CJ. Now, not to keep picking on CJ, but CJ. Hold on. CJ. Terry McLaurin has 6,000 yard season straight in the NFL. Y'all tripping. Terry, if you go look at Terry's stats, it's like 1,008 yards, 1,091 yards, 1,050 yards. You know what I mean? Like, guys, he's getting these 1,000 yards in week 17, 18. Like, we've seen Terry disappear in games. And again, I'm not knocking Terry, but he is not
first Giants game gone.
Super
duper dominant force.
Yeah.
We've seen Terry be blanketed and shut down in games. If Cliff, like at one point before Cliff started moving him around the first few games of the season, Terry was a no-show. We couldn't find him.
Put it out of PP.
So all I'm saying is like just keep it a buck, man.
So here's my question to that. I mean, early on in the year, he wasn't being moved around. But my counter to that kind of is how much of that is Terry being locked down, or how much is that is Jaden Daniels being more comfortable throwing to his right side. I remember I was saying that's why he had a better connection with Noah Brown, because Terry McLaurin's on the left side. He's not looking over there. That's why the first game versus the Eagles, a lot of people were saying Quayon Mitchell was shutting him down. Quayon Obey. Jaden Daniels was not looking at Terry McLaurin's left side because Cliff was not moving him. But another point EB
to that same point though, like it took EB 18 weeks, the final play, to get him to 1,003. We were screaming from week 10, yo, Terry's at 750. Yo, Terry's at 8. What are we doing? We got 3 weeks left.
John, we were also screaming on top of that. And Cliff did this shit too. Cussing me because it pisses me off to this day. I don't care what y'all think of Terry McLaurin. You could say he's not top 5 or not. He's our number one guy. There should never be a game in which Terry McLaurin does not have a target entire first half. Cliff did that shit last year. Eric Bieniemy did that too.
4 games he did that.
I don't care how much better you think the cornerback may be, but you telling me you can't get him an end around, you can't scheme open a screen, a slant, something to get the ball in the hands of Terry McLaurin. And also to he's barely cracking 1,000 yards. Yeah, of course. But there are times where, and I know y'all are tired of hearing this excuse, but there is a big reason why he finally had the breakout year when he finally had the quarterback.
Yeah,
because
but Terry had like 1,000-some yards last year.
Yeah, of course. And we're not.
I mean, it ain't like he had 1,400 yards with Jaden.
He just had touchdowns.
A lot of
came alive.
A lot of the
short
plays,
yardage touchdowns.
A lot of the plays, and this is where we got to also call it real and be honest with like Reedie and Zee is saying. A lot of the plays were on Terry McLaurin. He should that Saints game should have been the best game of his career, but Jaden Daniels overthrew him. Terry also dropped the pass. So there are times in which Terry McLaurin is shooting himself in the foot where his production could be way better. Like 2024, Terry McLaurin finished with 1,096. Come on, y'all. We watched every single game. He should have been at least 1,100 yard.
I think you get a 12.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Talking about. That's the season.
The thing that gets me, Juan, is Terry is the X receiver, meaning he's always on the fucking weak side of the field. He's not on the strength side of the field 9 times out of 10. So you mean to tell me you cannot beat the backside corner?
But how do we know that though? Because again, like I said,
it's X's and O's
for the first half of the season. For the first half of the season,
I get that from last year, but I'm just going back into. I'm going back into the previous seasons and shit like that. That's what I'm really talking about. I'm focusing on. But I'm just saying, like, he's the X receiver. So a lot of that shit was on Terry too. He could have got open a little bit better and shit on the backside. You getting single. Yeah, he gets double. He gets bracketed sometimes, but it's not to the clip that we're going to sit here and act like it is, because it's not.
Because looking back at it, the 2023 season, he got 1,000 yards. We can all collectively probably agree Eric Bieniemy hold him. He should have been way, you know what I'm saying? His best year to this date is 2022, where he had basically 1,200 yards that year. And he averaged 15.5 yards a catch in 2022. And that's with Taylor Heineke, 1191. 1191. So realistically, Terry McLaurin,
that was his also first true season of a almost consistent QB play was Taylor Heineke before JD5 shows up at the building.
And I feel like Taylor forced Terry a lot too.
And Terry force fed.
Yeah, he forced
Taylor was
like a lot of
force feeding it.
Like,
that's a good
point. Terry and you're absolutely right, Juan. It's no reason why he shouldn't have no targets in 4 straight games or whatever the crazy stat line was on that. I agree with you on that. I totally agree. He is our number 1 receiver. But if we're going to sit here and try to make it seem like he rates up to the upper echelon of receivers in this league, get the fuck out of here.
Okay, let me ask this. If Terry McLaurin duplicates what he did last year, does that put him in that conversation?
I said that. I said he's in the top 10 for sure. He's teetering on top 5. If he goes out and say he puts up 15, that was my only thing with Terry, was like, I thought he was outstanding. Deep ball, he could track the ball, you know what I'm saying? Them uncontested catches and all of that shit was good. My thing with him was just like, I'm like, damn, Terry, give me 1,400. Damn, Terry, give me 1,500. Like, be in that range. Give me a little bit. Give me 12. Give me 30. You know what I'm saying? Be over the just barely hitting 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards don't hit the same no more nowadays. If we go look at these receivers and with the numbers that they're fucking putting up, that 1,000 yards don't mean shit. They're 400, 500, 600 yards over that shit.
Right.
That's all I'm saying, man.
I truly understand that. But my kind of rebuttal to that, and it's not to make excuses for Terry McLaurin, and I don't even want to say a necessary flat out rebuttal. I just got to do my homework. If we look at the most recent 1,400 yard seasons, 1,300, 1,500 yard seasons by said receiver, you can fill in the blank with whoever did it. Look at their situation and look at Terry McLaurin's situation. And if Jaden Daniels was Terry McLaurin's quarterback for at least the 3 seasons out of his 6, I think he would have had 1,300 yard receiving games or receiving seasons. But we looking at, game by game with Terry McLaurin over his 6 years, there are games where he's had 35 yards and 52 yards. And you telling me that whole game is solely because Terry McLaurin is getting shut down?
I think the first Giants game, he only had 17 yards the whole game.
And you're telling me out of 15 minutes, and I'm going to just use them as an example because John just brought them up. You're telling me out of 15-minute quarters, Terry McLaurin is getting shut down by Deonte Banks and Cordell Flott? Hell no. that has to do with the offensive play calling and the way that they schemed up. Because once we started to move Terry McLaurin around and start to use him in ways that is more than just having him as a flat out X receiver, because remember, that was the biggest thing that was wrong with Cliff's offense is that they said, I talked to Arizona Cardinals YouTuber Mythic AZ. He said the reason why DeAndre Hopkins wasn't as successful as he should have been in Arizona on a consistent basis because Cliff does not move around his X receiver. He kept DeAndre Hopkins on that left side. He did that same shit with Terry McLaurin when he first got here, you know, and even with all the other offensive coordinators we did, you know what I'm saying? So I'm making the case to say I'm with you right now. He's not top 5. He's definitely that top 10 discussion. If he has another season like he did last year, he definitely could make an argument for discussion like that. But I do think you would have been what you've been asking for, 1,400, 1,300 yards. He would have been got that had these offensive coordinators been better. Terry McLaurin, I can't just say. I would lean it more towards the offensive play caller in his situation more so than Terry McLaurin himself, because I mean there are countless plays where Terry McLaurin is ass open and he's not getting the ball. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's true. But I just want to kind of reel the comments in a little bit. Like we're not disputing. We're just talking about the crux of the conversation started where we were saying that the fans, these diehard fans that are saying that they're going to ride in the streets, they're going to burn down Washington, they're going to burn down Northwest Stadium, Uptown Federal. Federal. They was not singing on this train, this Terry train, and that's a fact. I'm just saying, Juan saying that he didn't see many, but I've spoken to many people in the parking lots at FedEx Field, at whatever you want to call it, and they have said like, yeah, Terry needs to do this. Terry needs to be better. Like, I love him to death. Like, definitely, probably, I'm going to jump out on a limb and say the best receiver, and I love Santana Moss.
Not better than Santana Moss, period.
To Reedie, probably goes down as the best receiver in Redskins, Washington football team, Washington Commanders history.
Santana Moss was different. Undersized, put up numbers, slot receiver.
That's your preference.
Like, I can go down the list.
That's your preference.
Down the list. But Terry, again, I'm not down in Terry, so I don't even want to do that. But Santana Moss is the Commanders' wide receiver GOAT, period.
Until when, though? Because until when?
You said until when?
Until when? Because if Terry McLaurin puts up at least a 1,200 yard season, you can have that conversation. After this year, if he puts up enough, you can have that conversation after this year.
If Terry puts up a 1,300 yard season this year and a 1,200 or 1,300 yard season next year, and he does it again the following year, at least 1,000. Chop it up. He's the best of all time in history. Miss me with it.
I agree
and trajectory speaks to that. Like that, man. Trajectory speaks to that, bro.
8 to 9 was different though. But I agree, Reedie. 8 to 9 was different though.
Yeah, 8 to 9. That nostalgia. Yeah, I get that.
The footwork, getting open, the hands, undersized, like just dog. Different. Even when he was old and playing with RG3 was still different. And he had just as many bad quarterbacks as Terry.
Go ahead and put Joshua comment up there, y'all. He giving us our flowers. John, you want to read that?
Yeah, I can take it. Joshua Garber is saying, you guys are amazing. Great Wednesday night. Greta combos. I'm pretty sure he misspelled great. End of the day, if 17 got traded, I'm still ride or die because it's business and we just got love for our team. Santana is my number 2.
Okay. Behind Terry or behind Gary?
Behind Terry or behind Art Monk? He clarified Art Monk. But I'm old and I feel you. He was different, meaning 8-9. All right, touche.
Art Monk. Shout out to Joshua, man. Shout out to Joshua. That channel is coming very soon. Y'all will see more of us. A lot more of us together. So stay on the lookout for that. But man, that Terry conversation definitely took
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I had to just bring it up though, because I feel
it wasn't even meant to get to that point though. It's some old stuff that we didn't even really need to rehash, but it was just like one of those.
I was writing names down on notes. I was like, "What receivers I want?"
Nah, that's great conversation.
I'm not gonna lie. Like again, I'm a fan just like everybody else, but like as we report and we hear what people say and go to these games and all that stuff, it's just like the masses just be switching up, bro. That's all.
Facts.
I mean, but that's the state of sports, though, man. I ain't even gonna sit up here and I'm not even gonna sit up here and act like I'm not a part of that as well, because I mean it's football. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't see the future. You know, like obviously if we saw the future, we would. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't be here right now, or be able to tell us right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so of course that's sports. The nature of it is you're gonna switch up. There are guys that I've said in the past that I definitely didn't like, and they eventually turned out to be really good, and vice versa. So I mean, it's a part of it. We all had those takes, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah. But like I'm a pro wrestling fan, and
one thing about Z, he gonna vouch for his guys. If there's a Z guy, oh my, he'll say get somebody out of there quick.
And Terry is a Z guy when Reedie. Terry is a Z guy. When Reedie was screaming 1B and all this and that, I'm looking like, you sure, Reedie? Like you gonna talk to Terry like that? Like so, I rise for Terry,
I'm coming from a perspective of the numbers.
Yeah,
the numbers. I'm just keeping it 100. Like
that's guy.
You know, like I like sometimes we have to take our allegiance to the team, take that out of it. Like I rock with the team. Yeah, I rock with the players, but like call a spade a spade. Like if you in a true conversation with a fan from another team and he'd say so, or he or she named somebody who's better, like you can't sit there and keep glazing and saying this man's better than him and ain't that. Come on, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah. That's facts. That's facts. That's why Terry McLaurin isn't my number one receiver in the NFL. Because if I was glazing or not being real, he would definitely be double up. But no, that's a good question. He said, "How many?" Oh, go ahead, John. My fault. I was reading the comments.
No, I was gonna. I think you and I might be on the same page. As Age's comment, why does 1B have a negative connotation? The same way when Cam Newton says game manager to game manager to game changer. It's the same conversation as you can be a.
Oh, my bad, John. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like you can be a game manager and get like Tom Brady was never a game changing. Like people say he's a game manager. 6 Super Bowls he manages to win. 10 Super Bowl appearances. 6 across two franchises. It's for a reason. That gets it
manager and game changer.
True, but
Brady didn't become a game and I know I'm gonna get heated for this. What I'm about to say. If we being honest, Brady wasn't all that great in the beginning. Let's stop it.
Here we go.
He was not all that great in the beginning. The first couple 3 years.
How about this?
I'm just saying. The first couple. At the end, from the middle to the end, he became obviously.
How many championships he got?
7, I think.
7. Yeah, he like the most in history. Come on, Reedie. Like, don't do this.
All right, how about this? How about this?
Bro, y'all be. This is what
I'm a real listen. How about this?
People act like they don't remember. Like Brady was cool, but he wasn't like all that. Defensive shit kept him in the game, kept them winning. He was managing the game manager. Then at one point it just clicked for him, and then he just became like that because everybody was sitting here, Peyton Manning this, Peyton Manning that, and I'm one of them. Peyton Manning was my GOAT at one point.
What Trump say? You were wrong.
What have I done? What have I done?
What you say? You say Aaron Rodgers your GOAT? Wrong.
Aaron Rodgers is not. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is my GOAT. I just say that for you. Aaron Rodgers is not my GOAT, but Aaron Rodgers is.
He does it for like
Thomas Brady 12 is the fucking GOAT.
Yes, he is. Obviously, clearly, I'm not.
I finally got you to say it.
I'm not disputing that he is the greatest quarterback to play based off of. We're talking about Super Bowls and what he
history is one of the greatest players.
Whatever. Got it. But people from a different era might say that Joe Montana is better than him. Wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like that's a preference. That's just like the LeBron debate, Jordan debate. If you come from Like me, I grew up watching Jordan. I was a kid watching Jordan. So like,
and you still think Bron the GOAT?
Good night.
Mike is one.
Good night.
I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know, Reedie. Sometimes, well, no.
I'm an AI guy, but I'm not saying AI to go. He ain't nowhere near to go. But that's one of the players that I love the most. I'm an AI guy. You know, I don't fuck with Bron ever since he did that weird.
I was about to say that. That's what
I don't fuck with him since he did that weird shit. That one time,
Reedie was the Bron LB23 shoe copping ass motherfucker the most until he met Bron at Walter Reed Hospital and Bron no looked him.
Ain't no look me. His bitch ass act like he
act like he ain't want to be there. He act like he ain't want to be there. And Reedie said, "Yeah, Bron wasn't the GOAT." After that,
I know he wasn't even the GOAT conversation when that happened. See, he was in like championship 1 or 2. Well, like, what are we doing?
This one's on me. I went up that can of worms saying game manager, game manager. This one's on me.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if we being honest, like for the older people, who was the older guy that was in here? That was talking about what was his name? Joshua. I know you remember Brady's first couple of seasons when they won the Super Bowl, maybe 1 or 2. Was Brady like that? Like they're portraying he was, because he wasn't.
They're asking how many Pro Bowls have Terry been to? I think like 1 or 2.
1 or 2, if that.
I think it's 2.
It's 2.
Yeah.
And are we talking about straight away win, or he got off the alternate nod?
Exactly.
I think it's 2 straight up. I
don't know about that one. I think one of them was a nod.
Terry McLaurin Pro Bowls.
Second team, that's all pro, but it's second team all pro. Let's be clear.
Selected to
2
looking back at Tom Brady's stats,
22 and 24.
Go ahead, Juan.
No, I'm just looking at his stats. He tore his ACL 2000. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Clearly, I wasn't born till 03, so I'm just assuming because I know he tore his ACL. Was that 2000? 2008.
He wasn't born until 03.
I wasn't.
He told you he like 21, 22.
Bruh.
Y'all got me feeling like do I look wild, fool? Like, I know y'all thought I was older. Like, nah, bro.
Nah. Oh,
wait. Juan,
do I look that?
You and I only a year apart, my guy. What you talking about?
Damn, John.
Yeah, we graduated. Well. Reedie graduated high school 04. I graduated 05.
04. Damn, I'm old. I just turned 40. God damn, bro.
I'll be 23 next week. What you talking about?
Damn, John. I thought you was like 60. I ain't. I'm true.
I thought John was elite. When I first met John, by him doing a show with Commander Justin, I just assumed that he was a little older than what he was. I thought John probably was like
Reedie, you still young. Asia says she older than all of us. So you good. You good,
yeah,
huh?
We're gonna change. We're gonna change the topic for Asia. We're gonna change the topic for Asia.
Damn,
my man said, "Man, 40 a big number." Go.
Hey, she don't want to. She don't want to tell us her age, so we gotta move on. I respect
her age. We gotta move on.
But I mean,
AJ, you look like 26, by the way. Just
yeah, ain't no damn.
But nah, Reedie, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not saying that your point is wrong, because again, I didn't watch Brady until you know,
man.
like,
damn, crazy.
You are Unc though. That's why I was saying that. Now I ain't gonna lie. I know you was 40, but like, huh?
Did you Johnny?
Nah, no, you got.
Ray been calling us Unc.
This is the thing y'all gotta understand. Unc should be an accomplishment in this generation. These youngins ain't even making it to 16. So Unc, I want to be Unc. I want to be Unc.
I want to be Unc.
I'm still. I mean, I get called Unc too, and I'm 21. So like, but nah. Looking at it though, looking at this just stat wise, you probably remember games, stuff like that. But Brady, he was a Pro Bowler in his second year. He threw for basically 3,000 yards. 2002, 3,700, 3,600, 3,600, 4,100, 3,500, 4,800. God. From the looks of it, it looks like he's been frying since he came in the league.
All right, so 3,000 yards, you said he threw 3,000 yards. What a quarterback that throws for 3,000 yards is top what now? Top what in this league?
Well, that's down. We talking about 01. Throwing for 3,000 yards at 01. Now, again, I don't know too much about 01. I was just assuming.
Ball in 01. They was throwing the football. You had
who was the greatest show on turf?
You had Gannon, you had Kurt Warner, you had Peyton Manning. There was some quarterbacks in this league. You had Donovan McNabb. They was putting up numbers. You had some good quarterbacks in this league now.
Tim Couch.
So, all right. I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie though. Okay, if you want to take away they gave him a Pro Bowl nod for 2001, but if you want to, and because they went 11-3 that year, or his QB record was 11-3. Even if you want to take away his first 2 seasons, from 2002 on to the last year of his career, and outside of the year he tore his ACL, he ain't throw for nothing less than 30. Damn, bro, I'm looking, bro. God damn, he was this good.
My God.
But I mean, I watched Brady. Like, don't get me wrong, but looking at his work, yeah, 5,200.
You had to do the compare. So I'm coming from the thought process of the other quarterbacks and what they was putting up too. So when I'm saying, I'm not saying that he wasn't doing good. He was, but he wasn't like he was the best thing smoking in the league them years because he wasn't. That's what I'm saying.
I get that. But I mean, since 02 though, God, I think the biggest thing that's impressive is that everybody would just agree on is the fact that he was doing it a year prior to me being born all the way to the last year of his career. That's something that's similar to LeBron. You can't take away. Like how long he's been at the top of his game. Yeah. I think Brady done had 3 different primes. I didn't see 2 of them.
I honestly think, like, if I'm being totally honest, I think that Bron, when it's all said and done, he has to be the GOAT. Now, the bias in me is saying, fuck no, out of fuck Bron, I don't like him because of that. But if I'm being honest, like,
one more.
If I'm being honest, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're gonna say Kobe in the championships, they're gonna say this and they're gonna say that, but
you can say Will and
Bill. All the time, championships can't define your greatness. Like, it does to a point, but look at all the other stuff that he's accomplished.
To win the game, you play to win the championship.
It's a team sport, like you play
to win the championship.
To say somebody, but if we remember, Crackhead Horry knocked down a lot of big shots to win.
But he was never the main guy. He was a compliment, and he made out shots
and championships.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But we're talking about the greats. And when you're comparing the greats, you got to talk about championships. Fuck all them other accolades or made up stuff.
I get that.
Braun have been to 8-9 championships. And only got 2.
So if we're really being honest, Bill Russell is the greatest all time.
He got 3.
Bill Russell is the greatest all time. And if we're being honest,
I think Braun like 4 and 10.
Michael Jordan is. I never seen Bill Russell play, so Michael Jordan is my GOAT.
Okay, right, but you making arguments like we're championships, but Bill Russell got the most championships of all of them.
My father.
Then Kobe and fucking
you make this Robert Horry comment often, and what I'm saying is you can't put Robert Horry in that conversation because he wasn't doing as much as them. Just because he came in and hit a few game winners,
he ain't in the conversation. I'm just saying if we talking about championships.
No, what I'm saying is when you speak on championships, we're speaking on that in addition to what everybody else has done. As far as their, Paul's total package, as far as, what they put up in points, leading their teams and things like that. So Robert Horry don't fit that mold because he's not the team leading guy. Now, he a compliment and come in and shoot a 3 here and there. And just because he got those championships, don't put him in that conversation at all. It's what I'm saying. It's not just championships. It's what you do overall in addition to championships. And Michael Jordan has that over Braun.
What I'm saying is I believe Michael Jordan is my favorite player of all time. But I said when it's all said and done, we have to say it. Braun will go down as the greatest player in the game.
How? Because he won't get 6 championships. Braun ain't getting more.
I'm talking about just everything else that he's the body of work, the number of years he's been in the league, all of that. You got to take all of that into consideration, bro.
Braun is
you got to take all that into consideration.
He's not
going to be how many gold medals do he got? How many? Like, he been a part of a lot of. Braun got 4 championships.
3.
He got 4.
He got one with Cleveland, 2 with Miami. Oh yeah, 1 with the Lakers. He won the bubble. Okay,
now we're gonna put an asterisk on the bubble. Oh my god, I can't.
Of course, you put an asterisk on the bubble. What are you talking about, Reedie?
And one of these top tier players.
Anybody, you putting an asterisk on the bubble?
All right, bubble don't count. Oh, fuck out of here. The fuck is a championship? They played the fucking games. It's a championship. Excuse my language.
Thank you, Asia. Bubble
That's
don't
glaze,
count.
Asia. Stop glazing, Asia.
The bubble don't count. Come on now.
Me and Juan just relaxing on this conversation. We're like, we don't want no part of this.
I mean, I can't speak to Michael Jordan and LeBron.
Like, I can't speak, but I got Mike as my one.
If Bron played, for I don't think Bron will win another championship either, but
he won't.
So just because he don't got 6 and everything else he did in this league, that means he can't be the GOAT.
When you compare, because everything else he's did, Michael Jordan has done.
So what about all the other reasons that Jordan had that Bron broke? That don't mean nothing. Points.
I think
all of that other shit.
Broke his points, and
assists,
you only talking
rebounds, 3-pointers.
Listen,
you name it, Bron.
That's
the broken thing about Bron is his defense.
That's basically based off of playing 20 plus years, and Jordan did all of that in less years, and averaged 30. Bron has never averaged 30. Averaging 30 points in a season and playing more games, Bron has never averaged 30, and he plays less games. Make it make sense. Yeah, go ahead.
LeBron has averaged 30 multiple times in his career.
In a season?
Yeah.
When?
I'm pulling up right now. Hold up. Hold up. I'm pulling up right now. Hold up. Points
average
per game.
30 for the season.
Correct. 05 hold on, this whole side. 0506 31-4. 0708 30. So that's 2. 2021 30.3.
How many games did he play?
2007, 2008, 30 points per game. He has averaged since.
How many games?
Hold on.
You didn't say that.
Hold up.
I said games.
He said that. Hold up. I absolutely put my Lakers hat on, even though Mike my one. Let's see, 31. So in 0506 played 79 games, 31.4 points. 75 in 0708, 30. Played all 81 games in 0809, was 28-4.
Damn, Indiana
hold on. Maybe it's Jordan averaged 30 for his career or some shit like that.
I was about to say if it's whole career, then I would. It's definitely.
That's what it is. Then maybe it's that Jordan averaged 30 for his career.
Kareem is closer to MJ.
Yeah, Jordan averaged 30.1 for his career. LeBron.
Career. Also LeBron's average is 27.
That's what it was. 30 for his career.
Everything went through Jordan.
It should go through Bron.
But Bron is a facilitator as well. I'm not making a case for Bron. Like I rock with Jordan, but I'm just saying, like when it's all said and done, like you got to get that man his flowers. Like they gotta stop what they doing.
I respect Reedie's point only for the sole fact that he said Jordan is his favorite player and he is the GOAT, but he's already acknowledging being one of the older people to. Now you're not that old, but I'm only putting it into the perspective because a lot of like people that are older than you, Reedie, would say Jordan is the GOAT and won't even acknowledge LeBron and just, you know what I'm saying? You're standing on the point that, yeah, Jordan's your guy and he's the GOAT, but LeBron will eventually become the GOAT. And that's real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because Bron is still at this level from playing at high level that he is. Jordan left and played baseball. Jordan went to the Wizards and was basically, you know, trash. Like, LeBron for 23 years is still the main guy and still leading his team on the outside.
25 at 40.
Mm-hmm. So
when Jordan was with the Wizards, what he averaged? What was it? Well, he was what, 37, 38? What he average? Jordan with the Wizards.
Bron is the BOHE, best of his era.
Jordan averaged 21 with the Wizards.
Oh, okay. And it was going through Jordan. with the Wizards. Facts. It was going through his ass.
Jordan, come on now. Jordan was coming off the bench. Jordan was coming off the bench at one point. And then he was coming off the bench at one point. And then they made him the fucking starter.
I gotta go to sleep.
It's my squad, I know.
Oh my God. He was coming off the bench. Maybe off of an injury or something, but Jordan was the guy here. You tripping.
Yeah. Somebody ain't no way John changed it to a full Lakers fit. He sneaky did that too.
Hey, I was low key laughing when John went off screen. Like,
I just noticed that too. Go ahead.
Got to bet someone off.
I can't confirm John Lakers fandom now.
Go ahead. Man, I just missed my parlay by 2 rebounds. Shit.
I said you just won.
Jonah was there to help sell tickets. That's it.
2 fucking rebounds.
Hey, looks like the Pacers got another win tonight. 116-107.
They doing it for Jim Irsay, man.
That's exactly what they're doing it for.
Man, what's this, game 2 or 3?
This is game 3.
So it's 2-1?
2-1. Yep. Change back. All right, we good.
What else we got? That's it?
I think that's it. We done covered 3 debates.
No, for real. We ain't even really like deep dive into minicamp. We could, you know what I'm saying, because some like the Terry discussion take up, but we did enough. Shit. We'll be back next week.
Someone asked about KJ Osborne. Get out of here.
So for real, we do we push Luke to be more integral the off season? I said off season offense. But KJ Osborne get a big role. I'd rather see the undrafted guys than KJ Osborne. I'm done with him.
Oh, for sure.
I think from what I'm hearing, Lucas has had a good offseason. He's been like, from what I see, he's up top with the leaders, leading drills and all of that. So I think Luka is going to have and DQ alluded to this the other day. Now I don't know how integral he's going to be in the offense, but he definitely is going to get a little bit more burn than he got last year. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll be more of a key piece even before the Noah Brown injury. We don't even know the extent of the injury. He's there. They saw the value in this kid to take him in the 3rd round, 2nd year, and this is year 2 for him, right? So of course he's going to have.
I think only year 3 or year 4 at wide receiver. Like, he's still fresh in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sky's the limit for Luke McCaffrey. But yeah, I think that's all we might got, fellas.
That's it. That's all. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe all of our YouTubes. As we spoke before, the Burgundy Breakdown YouTube channel, Instagram page, and other platforms will be rolling out soon. And also make sure y'all tap into our pages individually at Reedie and Zee, at the Ballin In Burgundy podcast, and at Juan Gotti Talking Sports. YouTube, Instagram, all platforms. Make sure y'all tap in with us. Stay tuned in. We'll, like we said, we working on some things, and we're gonna roll this into the season. So stay locked in with us, and we're gonna keep it real with y'all. We're gonna keep it a buck all day, every day. So if that's all my brothers got to say, that's Reedie. I'm Zee. This is John. And there's Juan, and we are the Burgundy Breakdown, and we will see y'all next Wednesday.